Good morning. Happy Friday. It is time for just a word from the Word. Our passage this morning comes from the book of Acts, chapter 9, verses 11 through 14, and I'm reading from the King James. And the Lord said unto him, Arise, and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and has seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in, and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. I love Ananias's response. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem, and here he hath authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. As I thought about Ananias' response to the Lord, you can almost hear it. The King James doesn't say it this way, and I don't know that Ananias might have really said it this way, but you can hear it. You can hear it in his tone. You can hear it in his response. Wait a minute, Jesus. Hold the horses just a little bit. Do you know who you're telling me that I need to go put myself in front of? Hold on just a second. And I got to thinking about Ananias' response to the Lord. And as I pondered that this morning, I got a little tickled and strangely encouraged because Ananias didn't hide the fact that he questioned the Lord. Have you ever stopped to think about that? We would not know the story about what the Lord spoke to Ananias and what Ananias responded to the Lord if Ananias had not been honest and open and vulnerable enough to tell Luke, who scholars believe wrote the book of Acts, if he hadn't been vulnerable enough to tell Luke what he was really thinking and what he really said to the Lord. I love that Ananias was open and vulnerable and honest about him going, uh, you sure about that? Have you ever had the Lord speak to you to do something for him? And you're like, uh, you sure about that, Jesus? Because that is completely out of my comfort zone. That is so out of the ordinary, and you want me to do that? Ananias' situation was he could have got himself literally killed. We don't usually have to worry about that choice here in the United States, although I fear that that will be coming. But for us as Christians, but for right now, we don't have to worry about that. It's not quite that deep, but it can be deep enough to go, not so sure this is what I should be doing, Lord. Wait a minute, Jesus, are you sure? And that's where I stopped reading, but that's not where the story ends. The Lord responds to Ananias and gives him comfort, really, and says, look, I know it's behind the scenes, but you could hear it in the Lord's response to Ananias. I hear you, but I've got a special calling on Saul's life, and I'm going to use him, and he's going to suffer for my name, but he needs you right now. And so Ananias goes and prays for Saul, and we get the great, mighty Apostle Paul because of that. Here's what I want to share. Even when we go, wait just a minute, Jesus, are you really sure about that? Even when we have those kinds of thoughts and say those kinds of prayers, though we probably wouldn't openly admit it to others because that would make us look unspiritual and ungodly. That's pride, isn't it? Even when the Lord deals with us to do something out of our comfort zone, and we say, Jesus, are you sure? Is that really what you want? I have experienced this. Perhaps you have too. That the Lord has come along and said, I hear you. I hear the concern. I hear the fear. But trust me, I've got this. Just go and be obedient to me. And if you didn't quite catch it, let me be as vulnerable as Ananias. There have been more than one times in my life where the Lord has dealt with me to do something, and it has been so out of my comfort zone that it has scared the living daylights out of me. And I've prayed the prayer that Ananias prayed. Wait a minute. Are you really sure about this? And every single time, God has come alongside and said, yeah, I'm sure, but I hear you and I understand and I know your fear and I know your worry. I've got you. And so I want to tell you, I feel it so strong in the Holy Ghost on this Friday that if the Lord is dealing with you to do something out of your comfort zone and you are questioning Him, will you let this word from the Word be a comfort to you today? He hears your prayer. He sees your fear. He's got you. You can trust Him. Just be obedient to Him. It's worth it, saints. It's worth it. This has been just a word from the Word. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. Have an amazing weekend. And Lord willing, we'll see you Monday morning. God bless you.